Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. I want to talk briefly about one story, and it is this headline here. JPMorgan expanding blockchain project with 220 banks to include payments. So you probably saw something like this come across your screen. I want to tell you that this is not entirely correct. What it should say is JPMorgan expands further in blockchain network to 220 banks globally. All right, this is correct. No mention of payments. This story is all about a new feature that's coming to IIN, Interbank Information Network by JPMorgan. It all comes from a pilot that was launched back in 2017 with ANZ Bank in Australia and the Royal Bank of Canada. The platform is built on an Ethereum-based private blockchain called Quorum. And initially, it was created to share payment data for compliance. When a payment doesn't comply fully, it gets held up, and sometimes that delay can last for weeks. So they have a new feature that's coming out, and that new feature is going to be available Q3, and it helps banks verify in real time whether the payment is going to a valid account. So there are many things that can occur that are still very much pain points for domestic and international payments. Sometimes it's sent with a typo in the code. Sometimes it's a bad account number. Sometimes it's as simple as a bad address. So this is going to help them in processing those without the delay. As a matter of fact, there is Mr. Hunter of JPMorgan. He says that 5 to 20% of domestic payments have some sort of delay or trouble, and it's even higher with cross-border. Now, the source that everybody is citing where this story came from was the Financial Times, and it broke on the 21st. And I will tell you that nowhere in this article do they talk about payments. It does say that we are looking at the ability to do more at the point of settlement. And he's talking about the new technology that is going to be offered in Q3 to help the banks verify that real-time decision process, whether that payment is going to a valid account. And it is that. So I think there's a lot of assumption on the part of media writers out there that this is about payments. Currently, it's free. So no wonder they had 220 banks come on board within a few months so quickly. It's not going to last that free all the way through. It's going to actually be a paid for application. So they are building their base to, of course, bring them on in, but eventually there's going to be a revenue stream there for JPMorgan should they be able to convert those customers over to paying customers. So this space is very fragmented. It has a lot of pain points still, and this solution is very much a nascent, centralized private blockchain. It's still vulnerable to security breaches, and it has a middleman in the beginning. There is no neutral settlement tool for liquidity, so you cannot compare apples to oranges. And I think some of the media headlines out there were making it look much different than it really is. You will see that they are going to set up a sandbox for fintechs to use the network to develop and put out applications on this. So it is still evolving. It's still becoming something that's a work in progress. But until we really see something that comes equivalent to the Ripple technology and the ability to transact those cross-border payments like XRP can do, those headlines are just a bunch of clickbait. Okay, everybody, I am moving over to the fluff. Oh, not until I tell you that I'm going to put a list of those banks in the description below. So if you want to take a look at the complete list of banks that are in that IIN network now, you can do that. Okay, so those headlines are as fake as the food here in Japan. So I don't know if you know, but more than 50% of the restaurants have window displays with fake food, and they're fantastic, beautiful, lifelike samples of what's on the menu. And they're made of silicone or wax or sometimes molded PVC. It's a big business, and it's been around since the 1930s. It is now a multi-million-dollar business, and the food becomes the advertisement, if you will. And it's something to really see. This is a gentleman who's 79 years old. He's been in the business a long time, and he talks about how the handcrafted art form to get the color just right really comes from a human touch. Even with the onset of 3D printers, it is still something that is done by hand here in Japan. And it all takes place in a neighborhood called Kappabashi. So when you come to Japan or you come to Tokyo, this is a neighborhood that you must visit. It has been the center of kitchen commerce tools for 100 years. And you can get some of the most beautiful iron teapots. These are just lovely. And then you can select from an enormous array of culinary knives that just come in every shape and size. I mean, it's just really mind-blowing how many shapes and sizes there are. And then you can also get the very best selection of ceramic ware. I think it's second to none, and it's not expensive, and it's all just really fun and beautiful, and all the colors that you can choose. You know, in Japan, I just will throw this in. When you set a table in Japan, typically the ceramic ware doesn't necessarily match. It's not thought to be that way. It's more interesting to have a variety of patterns and colors. So I think when I came from the US, everybody had these beautiful dinner plates with matching bread plates with a matching teacup and a matching saucer and a matching serving dish, but that is far from how it's done in Japan. It is done with as many designs and as many colors and as many makers as you can see fit. That's the beautiful part of a Japanese table, I think. And then don't miss the wonderful selection of the food that is in displays all throughout the whole country. It's very fun. So I think you'll enjoy it. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.